I had been here once before. My first trip into this place of deepest forest and sprawling waters. And here, it had called me back, summoned me like a salmon returning to its first waters. The waters of the St. Paul's River were first explored by canoe. The Inuit first, and then traders and trappers traveled these waters by boat. I was returning by air. Since the 1950s, places like this have been accessed by a de Havilland beaver. The sound of the beaver never grows old. You feel it before you hear it, a deep hum in your chest that means you're heading north to fish. Over 2,000 of these great Canadian bush planes were constructed, and somehow now, over 900 of them are still in the air. 40 miles from the nearest road or power line, this is the most remote place I've ever been. And somehow, going back for my second time, it feels like home. As the beaver sets us down for the first week of the season, our anticipation is really high. Are the fish here? Have they come back? Salmon fishing humbles you. On most rivers, 2 or 3 fish in a week is a good number. You spend hours watching the water, casting to what you hope is there. You start to see the difference between faith and hope. The St. Paul's is different from the clear Gaspé rivers where you can spot fish holding deep and watch them move sometimes to a fly. Here the water's dark, tea-colored and full of mystery. You never quite know they're there until one rises or leaps, showing itself for just a second. When they do, it's electric, and hope returns. The guides here, Eldon, Rod, and Matty, they're legends in their own right. Eldon's got nearly 50 years on this river. A gruff exterior, but a heart of gold. You'll find the sports huddled around him in the evenings, talking flies, river stories, and big fish. The first fish hooked of the year was by Jake Wheeler. Jake's been coming to the St. Paul's for 20 years and chasing Atlantic salmon across North America for over 35. He's one of the most experienced salmon fishermen I've ever met. Immediately on the first morning, fish went airborne all over the pools. The run was on. As Eldon was often keen to say, it didn't matter what you had on, as long as it was an undertaker. It could have been a blue charm or one of Rod's green machines, but all the flies were working. The scene on this river is one that's almost impossible to describe. Over 37 miles of river, over 55 pools, oftentimes fish just all over the system, and scenery that is just beyond belief. Getting a chance to fish and film here for the last 2 years has truly been a life-changing experience. I've had the opportunity to grow tremendously as a travel host and as a filmmaker, and spend time with just the most unbelievably cool fish anywhere in the world.
Nice.
It appears that Jake's recommendation to spend the summer at the St. Paul's was going to pay off in a big way.
Fish on in Cavendish.
One of the real characters in camp is guide Rod. Rod's been there for over 30 years. His father guided at this very camp decades ago, and his laugh you'll just never forget. What an incredible accent. Watching them work reminded me what it means to be a guide. To pass along your specialized knowledge, to share an appreciation of the beauty of such a wonderful place, and to have an opportunity to show and help to protect such an amazing fish.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, what a jump.
You know, you can't really explain what a place like this does to you. It's the silence, the distance from chaos, the way it makes you understand what matters. For me, it's not just the fishing.
Yes, sir.
It's the drive to share it, to tell the story, to show people exactly what a place like this means. Jake here has some great relationships with people all over the Gaspé. Guides in Newfoundland and Labrador and on the North Shore of Quebec. So he keeps good tabs on what's happening with the Atlantic salmon run. And there is great reports this year from all over the region of huge numbers in return, especially of grilse and jacks, and definitely some multi-winter fish. While it's the beaver that takes you to them, it's the salmon that bring you back. year after year, generation after generation, to a river that feels more alive than ever. The last few years of slower runs have definitely brought concern to the region, and locals were starting to talk about it quite a bit. But what an exciting moment to be here as the fish returned like crazy. Dick White has been coming to the St. Paul's for 11 seasons now, and he caught one of the biggest salmon I saw all year, somewhere around 14 pounds. On the release, that fish paused in the current just long enough for the camera, finned gently, turned, and then slowly vanished. Moments like that will stay with you. These fish are just incredible. And as we headed out from week 0, we just thought about how amazing it was to have been here when the salmon returned. So on that plane ride home, Jake and I hatched a plan. One that would bring us back to the St. Paul's in 3 weeks, and it would bring my father with us. A chance for him to actually fall in love with fly fishing and with Atlantic salmon. My father has picked up a fly rod here and there over the years, but this was his first trip for Atlantics, and he knew it would be different. For this week, we were joined by Matty, a young hotshot guide who'd grown up in the area. He'd been guiding at a camp up in Labrador, and here he flew in by helicopter and joined us for the rest of our trip. From here on out, Matty and Rod would take good care of my dad, making sure he got onto some serious fish. As this is a return for me, it's a first time for my dad. Getting to watch that first time experience is really something from the other side. My dad's 70, and he spent years running the shuttle for my drift trips, watching clients get out of the boat and listening to my stories about fish that got away. Watching him catch his first Atlantic salmon was an unbelievable experience. And reflecting on watching him hook that first salmon in high water, a 5-pound fish, silver bright and perfect. But the amazing thing was how he just kept going. 12 salmon in a week. Watching him light up after every one, it's definitely something I'll never forget. I think he decided he loved fishing this week. And the fact that we were both able to do it at the same time just made it all the more special.
What do you think of that?
Pretty, huh?
Yes, sir. Fresh.
Yeah, very fresh. He jumped great. Super fun. Thanks, brother. That was wicked fun.
7 inches of rain had pushed the river up over 6 feet, and the first couple days were tough. The water was wild and unpredictable, and the wading was difficult. But when it started to drop, the fish came alive. It was apparent that the run was still on, and that more fish were coming in. My dad got to spend his week working with some of the best guides around. And here you can see the old man getting to learn from the young guide. Definitely great moments for me all week.
Yeah, Dad.
This was my 3rd week here on the St. Paul's, and from the moment I stepped off the plane, it felt like an entirely different experience. One where I got the chance to observe my dad in the same space, getting to learn a love of Atlantic salmon, and getting to learn from these spectacularly experienced guides. 30 years, 50 years, grew up on the river. It's so impressive to work with, and man, are they seriously adept at their jobs.
How much do you think that one weighs?
The previous few seasons had seen low numbers in the Atlantic salmon run come into the river space. But this year everything returned. The fish, the laughter, the sounds. After seasons of quiet, the river roared back again. Reels screamed, the fish leapt in all the pools. From the time of the Inuit and then the French trappers, the Atlantic salmon have always returned to the river. We hope that this will continue for many years to come. The 12 fish my dad managed throughout the week, they were not luck. They were something deeper. Maybe the river paying him back for 9 years of quiet work. Maybe just his time and helping aid me in my life. Or maybe just a chance to actually enjoy himself in such an amazing setting.
There you go.
So whether it's for fathers and sons, or for families, or for old men that come back year after year, this place has got something special. A bit of magic, a total amount of wilderness, and a little bit of hope at the end of every cast.